Yo, what's up everybody? Today's video is a quick rundown of the gear that I use to make my drum videos, so let's go. Right, we're behind the kit. Couple of things. Please forgive the squeaky floor. Yeah, it just squeaks anyway. So apologies about that. So this drum kit, first and foremost, is a Roland TD12. That is the module there. Just kind of plugs in and you connect all of your pads up to that. I do have a couple which are not connected at the moment because the wires are broken, so this one and this one. But I'll get them sorted at some point. Yeah, there's all like the standard pads. I do like the hi-hat, how it kind of moves up and down, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, the only thing that I've added to this kit is this Lemon, I think it's 15-inch kind of crash or ride. It just gives it a bit of a nicer feel. For differentiating between like the smaller crashes and things and the ride. So that is something that if you want to expand your kit you should go and get one of those, and they're fairly cheap as well. So I might actually get a China cymbal because they do a whole range of splashes and that kind of stuff, so shout out to them. Also for drum sticks, I do use Collision sticks. I've been using them for many years and very durable. Even when I was playing live on acoustic drums, they were very durable, so that's pretty cool. Now, in terms of the technology, in terms of how you get this and make it into videos, first thing first is that I totally bypass all of the settings in here. This is basically just a MIDI. It just runs MIDI, basically. So I've got a MIDI cable coming out here. That runs across to this little guy. It's just a simple Focusrite interface, so that goes in there. So I'm not really using any of this either. So I'm literally just taking it from there. Got a MIDI cable going into the computer, into Logic, and then you just need to play around with the triggers and the samples and that kind of stuff. But I'm using Oda Home drums. They're the sickest drum library for live performing I've ever used. So shout out to Buster Oda Home of Vildhjarta and Humanity's Last Breath and Throne. So very, very cool. So yeah, once it kind of is all connected up, if I hit some of the pads, you'll see it kind of light up. It kind of triggers, so you'll see all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's very, very simple. So as I said, you can actually use just a much more simple drum brain. But I got that one with the kit, so that's that. I do just use these headphones to kind of listen along to clicks and all that kind of stuff. I do have in-ears, but I'm just happy with headphones at the moment, so there we go. So that's really the main thing. So once that goes into Logic, I basically take the computer to my desk, which I will show you in a second. Right, so we're now at the desk area. It's pretty simple, but yeah, it's just what I need. So basically, once I've kind of tracked everything, I bring it over here. You've got those drums, so that's all very cool. I play around a little bit with the levels, quantize anything that's kind of majorly out, but most of the stuff I'm just taking it as is. So I'm literally not doing anything with mixing. The nice thing about Oda Home drums is the fact is that you do get two presets. So you've got the processed and unprocessed. I just use the processed because that basically is the sound that pretty much everyone buying that library is wanting. So basically you bounce that down. So you bounce it to WAV or MP3 or whatever. Once you've got your file, you bring it over here, upload it to Google Drive. So yeah, once I've bounced the file, you basically just upload it to Google Drive, which I showed you. And the really cool thing about just using Google Drive is that it does work across all platforms. I use, for recording the videos, I use a Huawei phone. So it's an Android. So the nice thing about Google Drive is that you can access files from both systems, both Apple and Android, and effectively I just then download it onto the phone, the audio, and then sync it up with the video that I've taken on my phone, therefore making a little video. So pretty simple, to be fair. Hopefully that made sense, or some types of sense. If there is any questions about anything, I'm happy to answer them. But one of the main things I like about this setup, and one of the main issues I've had in the past, is I would hate, wanting to record a video, and this is something that some of you might have as well. wanting to record a video, but then having to do a whole bunch of setup, which, like setting up laptops, mixers, all that kind of stuff. And by the time I've kind of done that, I've kind of lost a bit of momentum. So actually, even when I'm wanting to record a video, it's more like I'm thinking about that process, and then I just wouldn't do it. So having a setup really as simple as this, especially with the audio, getting the audio and the video together, is super, super good, because I find myself I'm being a lot more productive. So having that kind of streamlined workflow means, as you've probably been able to see over the last kind of few weeks, having things, every 3 days. So that's a really helpful thing as well. So some of you might resonate with that, but I've certainly found that quite helpful with my other musical things as well, piano videos and Isolationist and stuff. So hopefully that all made sense. And there is one last thing I'm going to show you, which is pretty janky, but it's quite funny. All right, anyway. So this is the the mastermind behind everything. This is actually a baby monitor holder, which I use for holding my phone. So it just clamps onto a cymbal stand. So when you're thinking about what kind of tripod I've got set up, it's actually just an old cymbal stand with a baby monitor on it. So there we go. The more you know. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and catch you later. Cheers.